I'm in here for IrishBoxing.com. Roddy Collins, the last time we talked, person to person, we were sitting in your car driving down Camden Street, telling me the left, right, and centre of everything to do with Dublin City. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I was giving you the tour of when I grew up on that side with my granny. My granny lived over there by the canal. Yeah,
Uh,
and I showed you the deluxe where they had the after party for the box, and that used to be the picture house we went to when we were kids. So brilliant all around the National Stadium, down by Harrington Street where my man and dad got married. That's our history, that side of the city.
let's
Right
go.
down as far as James's Street, Brabazon Square, Reginald Street. That's all the history of the beginning of the Collins clan, as they call it.
A superb night at the National Stadium, April 12th. Your son, Podge Collins, taking a win, and a great win as well. What was it like to have boxing back in the National and Podge being on a card like that for you as a father, seeing that with your son?
Oh well, first and foremost, a big thank you for starters and a big round of applause for Jay Bourne Promotions. He's been absolutely brilliant. He is going to reignite the whole of professional boxing, not only in Dublin but in the whole of Ireland, as he develops and progresses and gets bigger. And as I said, a thank you to him for considering Porrick for his last couple of shows. And it's been a pleasure working with him. Everything above board, everything professional, and everything transparent. So let's start with that one. To see the National Stadium with such an atmosphere, such a crowd, and such how can I say, um, what would I say? I don't know how to put it. Just such a great crowd that was in it. There was no hostilities. It was just fantastic. And I even said to Mel Chris, I've never seen a better crowd in since as many years as I can remember back on to amateur and professional boxing. So yeah, it was brilliant. And to have Porrick get 4 hard rounds on it was good because that's what Pascal wanted, and he learned a lot from it.
Did you think that, like, when you looked around, it was like this could be a new era of Irish boxing that what that we're looking at the moment? Like, we're all looking around the National Stadium. It's sold out. Like, this could be the start of something very special.
Oh, it is. Oh, I don't think I know it. It is definitely going to be start of something special. And please God, having the stadium is a great thing because it's made for boxing, and it's the Madison Square Garden of Irish boxing. So yeah, I'm absolutely confident because I've worked closely with Jay and Butch, just helping out and trying to, get ticket sales out the door and a little bit with stuff in the Red Cow, and I can see how enthusiastic, professional, and the desire they have to achieve this, and the respect they're getting from the bigger boxing community outside of work because we don't want promoters coming in, throwing on a show and you never see them again. We need something sustainable. And Jay Bourne and Butch and Jay Bourne Promotions are that company that will provide that.
How did you feel at first about Podge turning over? And what advice was there any advice that Steve and Packy gave to him before even making the decision?
Well, look, he said to me, and I did stories out there, he said to me a few years ago when he was grossly overweight, he said, I don't want to be an electrician. I said, that's not a problem. You can sweep the roads if you want. That's whatever you want to do, dig holes. I should just be happy. And then he said to me, I want to be a professional boxer. And I took that step back. I thought, didn't see that one coming. So his mother said, look, just let him go up and see if he lose the weight. And the rest is history. Pascal came to me and said a bit about him. And then Stephen seen him in Birmingham and said to me, yeah, I'd like to work with him to something there. So the rest, I don't get involved. I don't get involved. I don't give my opinions unless I'm asked. And I never ask him, was he training, was he running? I don't get involved. But when it comes to sponsorship, ticket sales and that's when I come on board. But I'm absolutely thrilled. It's just lived in the whole family. It's great to have boxing back in the Collins family, to participate in it within the four corners is brilliant. Like we have Pascal there all the time. We're always following Pascal's career and we're always on board when these boxers are fighting away. We try to zoom in or we try to tune into every fight that's there and we follow Pascal's progress. But to have my uncle within the confines of the ropes is just absolutely brilliant. New lease of life for everyone.
Did you confine in Steve and Packy before, like, the again, like, was it like, listen, should this actually, like, how good is he, like, like, is the potential there to go professional for him?
Well, look, he went up to the gym And then he came home. I didn't go near the gym. I stayed out for a couple of months purposely. And he come to me and he says, Dad, will you have a chat with Pascal? He might stop me sparring. And I thought Pascal was protecting him. So I went up to the gym and said, Pascal, just let him off, you know. I said, if he finds out if he wants or not, he said, no, it's not that. He said, there's a cohort of novices here. He said, and he's going through the whole lot of them. So he put him in then sparring a senior boxer. And Jesus, I couldn't believe it, you know. So then Pascal said if he puts his mind to it, shows consistency, he can at least, you know, work his way up in a few years for a Celtic title. And that's what it was. And since then, Stephen studied him a lot more with Pascal, and the two of them have a lot of good conversations. I don't get involved. And then they just report back to me what their feelings are and how he should be progressed. And then I just pass on to Porrick. And yeah, no, it's all positive. He's lucky. He's lucky to have Stephen and Pascal to look after him inside the ropes. And then obviously I'm his dad. Well, they want from me kids, you know. So no, I don't get involved, but I always want to see his opponents before they all agree. And in fairness to Pascal, he shows me the opponent. What do you think? And then I give me opinion and then leave it with them. But no, we sort of work together on that one.
Do you get nervous as the father? I know, but like, would you get nervous as the father? Sometimes of being in the sport, because obviously it's a dangerous sport. And obviously, you know, a son of yours, well, a son in general, and his father looking at him going into a dangerous sport. Would there be nerves at all there, Roddy?
Well, you know what? The first one, in bed, well, his amateur fights, I was really nervous. I was really nervous. And then I seen he was well capable, so that left me. He didn't have that many, I think about 8 amateur fights. But his pro debut was absolutely in bits. And it wasn't because we know about opponents on your debut, but I was just saying he's so calm. Will he bottle it when he sees the lights and not the inside the ring? He'll never do that. He's a pair of balls on him, but I just felt, you know, will the crowd get him? But no, he absolutely just went to a duck to water. And then his second fight, you know, I don't get worried till it starts. And then the second one, when the man started to throw a few heavy shots, I thought, see how that one goes. And then he handled that. But the second round of the last one, because he was struggling with a shoulder injury, he did the sparring for about 5 weeks, you know, so we were worried about, but Pass was confident he was doing enough for him on the pads and the bags to get him through it. But when he sat down at the end of the second round, I got a bit concerned then. And that's when Pascal said he dug in and said, look, you got to win the next 2 rounds or, you know, this could go pear-shaped. So when he showed that, which we know he has, he's unbelievable stamina, you know, he's unbelievable courage, and he's very determined. So not really inside the ring. No, I don't, but it will come if he progresses up the levels. Obviously, it becomes a lot more serious, a lot more dangerous.
Like he landed a lot of big shots in those last 2 rounds as well to keep him in the fight, and like I think he stunned your man once or twice. He threw a lovely left back check back hook that landed on your man's chin. He looked buzz in his eyes, and a nice little body shot as well. So like he had the power, and he had the, you know, he went into the well, and he dug, and he got the win at the end.
Oh, well, he did, because, yeah, the chap that he boxed pulled me out and said, you, his father. He said, tell him not to stop throwing heavy shots. He said he has a bit behind him, you know. No, we knew that, like he does. He has heavy hands for sure, and he's a very, very solid chin. But no, we showed, as Pascal said at the end of the second. I said, you need to dig in here. He said, and Pascal says, your man is Johnny Rolex to cross there. He said, not hatless. Johnny Rolex this, and he said, so that's where he dug in, because, you know, ideally it could have been a lot fairer, but it is what it is. So he showed that part, and he showed in the gym many times as well that, you know, he'd get in with anyone. He got off the sofa after being out of the gym for about, I think it was 6 to 8 months. Pascal rang me, I need something to do 2 rounds of an 8-round spar. He got off the sofa in a half an hour. He was in, he'd done 3 or 4 rounds.
Wow.
So he has the minerals, you know, and he's intelligent, very intelligent.
Yeah.
And no, he has all the tools, as Pascal and Stephen said, so it's up to him now.
I say there's a lot of pride carrying the Collins name. How big of a positive is that? And or is there any pressure with? Do you think that Podge carries any pressure at all in, you know, in that way?
Not at all. It's a help to him, actually. It's a big help to him.
It's
And
only
knowing
positive. It's
Porrick,
positive.
and yeah, it's great help to him. And if knowing Porrick, as I do from a kid, when he was a footballer, even under 8s, 9s, 10s, he took the ball and took all the penalties, you know. So, and even like he doesn't get flustered. Very, very, very calm person. You know, all the way growing up, like as I say, me and my other son, Rod, we can't count to 10. Porrick is very calculated. So he doesn't see it that way because he doesn't have to, no one's going to reach what Stephen reached, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't have to worry about that. If he gets even 10% what Stephen got in the profession, it'd be a huge achievement. As regards Pascal puts him under no pressure, only to be consistent and turn up for training. And outside of that, I don't put any pressure on him at all. His mother probably has more of a handle on him than I do. I'd ask his mother, how's he getting on? How's this? How's that? And because I don't want to put him under pressure. But no, look, the Collins name's a huge help because it sells tickets for starters. I mean, we're putting out 150 tickets, nearly 180 for his debut, which is a big volume of tickets. So I have a lot of contacts in the media, which helps that I can get him a little bit of exposure, which will help to sell tickets as well. So no, it's a win-win for him all the way around. And he keeps saying it himself, he's very lucky and appreciates it. And he appreciates promoters that put him on as well. And more importantly, he appreciates the people he works with, the GM, Carl Crowley, Richie O'Leary, Danny, Big Thomas when he comes back, Craig. We have a great little team up there. And
It's
now
like a family almost.
Sorry?
It's like a family almost, Roddy. It's like a family.
100%. And then to throw into the mix, the new arrival of Mike Perez, it was just glue to the whole lot of them. He's an unbelievable character, an unbelievable human being, and just gives his knowledge to everyone. And he sits with Porrick on a regular basis and, you know, has chats with him. And no, it's just a brilliant. And I love to see it. And I love getting involved. I love the crack with Big Tommy. And I wish him a speedy recovery. And he will, because my own son, who's a semi-professional footballer in England, he's just come back off Tommy's injury. So they're on the phone with each other on a regular basis about his recovery and his surgery and all that. It is like a family, and that's down to Pascal. He created a gym where compassion to each other and respect to each other is more important than ability and anything else. And it's a brilliant little family, and it's starting to reap the rewards with the success in the gym.
When fight night comes, are you more of the kind of the supportive dad, and you just leave everything to you kind of leave the main priorities to Packy, because obviously him being the coach, and you just take that step back, or how would it work?
Everything I leave. All I do is I go around the dressing room, stay away in the distance. I don't get involved in anything. I don't give my opinion on anything. I just, you know, keep an eye out, make sure everything's, you know, as they see it. And Pascal's ability within the confines of the ring and his coaching and his tactical ability. But when Pascal gets his head around something with gloves, with wraps, with water, with everything, he's just unbelievable. I've never seen him like it. And I think he got that with Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach was meticulous in that. So I know he's being looked after 100%. Stephen doesn't even give him a lot of advice. We leave it all to Pascal. But afterwards, we'll sit down. On the night, I mean, even the start of the third round, Stephen said to me ringside, Rod, will you give him a shout and tell him to do this? I said, no, Stephen, you do it. Or pass it on to Pascal. I don't want to be the father who's my son, or I didn't like it in football. I've seen enough of those fathers. I've seen a lot of it in boxing, and it just doesn't wash with me. So I leave the boxing to the boxers. If he was a footballer, it'd be wholly different, but they're the boxing people and the family. I leave it to them.
In terms of the League of Ireland, we have to get into it. You know, obviously a great season so far, especially for Galway United. Big win against Bows there a few weeks ago. Moses Dyer, what a man.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the league so far this year?
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's so competitive. Like normally, when I managed and played in the league, you could pick a couple of teams and go, "Well, we should get maximum points off them." It's not like that now. It's unbelievable. And if you look at the table, I think from top to third from bottom, there's only 5 points in it.
Yeah.
6 points maybe if you look at it closely. And it changes every week. But the big surprise for me, they're staying at the top every week. They don't move. And that for me is brilliant. Because, you know, you'll expect Pats Rovers, Shelbourne, And I would say Bowes don't write them off to be competing in the top four at the end of the season. But to have Drogheda there, it's great nobly. But the whole, and I'm lucky enough to be back on the live games with Virgin Media on the Friday nights. The whole spectacle has changed. I don't know if it's the COVID that people come back to the boxing as well, but people want live events now. And League of Ireland football. I got a call yesterday. Could I get 2 tickets for Bowes? Impossible. Absolutely impossible for a relation of mine. So, no, it's brilliant. Long may it last, and really exciting. And delighted to be involved in that as well. So, it's like the old days with Stephen. I managed Bowes and was around Stephen when he was world champion. So, it's like that all again with me. It's brilliant to have both, Park involved with Pascal, and then the football. It's just fantastic for me.
So it brings back good memories, basically. Or like, just as you say, like you being the world champion belt carrier, and then and then you managing both at the same time.
Yeah, we did, and then like we had a lot of people knocking around, and we'd Vinnie Jones used to come to a couple of games. We'd I think what's his name? One of the Gallaghers was at one of the games as well. So that was all around the football, and everybody loved it. Sean Edwards used to come, rugby coach, one of the top coaches on the planet, used to come and train us and analyse the training I was doing with the players. So it was great. And I'm getting involved. And when I'm on the live games, I can promote Portage fights as well and the JB promotions, and it helped out with that. So yeah, anything I can do outside of getting too involved, I would throw my name behind it, and if it gets a bit of profile, anything to bring boxing back, because we miss it, and there's so many great boxers around, and there's such a cohort of young professionals coming up. It's really exciting. It's brilliant.
Do you think there's still a high level of management at all, like in terms of the status quo of the League of Ireland, the likes of John Caulfield, Bradley, Duffer, Kenny? Like, do you think that those lads could bring those clubs onto the next level?
Well, look, they're all top-notch managers. You have to be now. If you're not doing your job, you're getting sacked. Look what happened down in Waterford.
Yeah.
He didn't do his job, he got sacked. And that's that. Look, people say you simply, that's when you get a job in football as a manager, one thing 100%, you're going to be sacked at some stage. That's a fact of life. Like getting into a boxing ring, it's possible you're going to be knocked out. That's part of the business. So you have to be a top-notch manager now. And Galway have 2 very good top-notch managers, very experienced managers and very pragmatic managers, and they'll be there or thereabouts. And I can see them competing for the league this year and qualifying for Europe and having a good cup run. Predict a very good season for Galway. And then you go through the other managers. Stephen Bradley, nothing to prove. Damien Duff come in and 3 years and he wins a league title. And then you go down to Derry, where you have a manager at Derry who won the championship with Larne in the Irish League. So they go through the whole lot of them. A lot of them have league winning experience, especially the top half of the tail. Then you have Stephen Kenny, a serial league winner in the League of Ireland. So yeah, it's brilliant because it makes it more competitive for everyone. And also that you're going to be sacked a lot quicker makes you more competitive, and you carry yourself different,
When's the next time that we can see you on Virgin Media?
I don't know, I'm waiting on a few dates to come in. I think it could be sometime in around June.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the. I got called as a late call-up. Actually, I wasn't on the original panel.
Yeah.
And I don't know what radio show or state. I don't know what I done, but suddenly they realised I was still alive because it was 10 years. 10 years waiting to get back on. It was the longest rest in the history of media broadcasting. Anyway, thankfully, Virgin brought me in. My last one was with RTE, but yeah. So I don't know, but whenever it is, I'm really looking forward to it. But I'll be tuning into the games tonight, getting all the reports in, and I've scouts at a couple of games to give me reports, so I'll be up to speed on everything.
A few last ones. Obviously I've heard it in some of our own interviews that our branders don't with your family. The spars between Pascal and Stephen and you looking on. Can you just tell us about the good old days between the lads having a few knocks?
Well, they always say, and I believe, they keep siblings out of the boxing ring. Because honestly, I used to do the grease for both of them when they'd spar, and I'd be nearly having to pull them apart. I honestly would say I've seen more competitive spars between Stephen and Pascal than a lot of fights that were paid fights. So there was needle there, but it never went over the edge. It was just, but it was very competitive, and then it was good for Pascal because he learned a lot. And it was good for Steve because it kept his sparring before training camp competitive. Because Pascal was his resident sparring partner when they went to training camp with Glenn Clatley and people like that. So it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And I had the privilege of sharing the ring with both of them during those periods of time. And I enjoyed it as much as they did. It was fantastic.
One last one. When do you think we can see Podge out next?
I don't know. I was talking to Jay yesterday, and Pascal thought there's a couple of promoters in the UK want to put him out over there. So he's having a little rest now. He's seen a surgeon next week for an MRI for his shoulder. See if we can earn that one out. But he's training away. He's going to be inspired soon, and he's training every day. So look, he'll be ready when as he said, he will fight tomorrow.
Yeah,
he's a fighting man. Wherever he is, he's a fighting man. He's a gentleman, but he's an out-and-out fighting man. If you pulled him, said fight tomorrow, he'll do it. So it's down to Pascal and obviously Porrick to see what his condition is. But yeah, whenever the time comes, he'll be out, and there'll be another step up. They want to step him up, again. I think quicker than most will be stepped up, and see how he fares out.
Paul, on that note, really, really appreciate it, Roddy, for coming on this morning. I hope Spain is treating you well, and have a great morning.
And I do have your boot that I promised you. And I'll be home in 2 weeks for a communion. And 100% I'll have that boot there for you. Thanks for everything and all the help.